All right, welcome back to Conversation Convo Combos. I'm your host Brian and my co-host Mike, and this is a bonus episode this week, and we're going back towards the topic of zombies. So what I wanted to bring back was that of having like people that you met in your past life, like whether it was parents or close
Friends
friends
or
or exes.
exes. Yeah.
Um, I had this dream where it was like my exes and stuff like that, and I wouldn't say it was back to back, but it was like every time that like I was making a run, I would get a walkie-talkie call. I'd be like, "Hey, someone's at the front door," and I would be like, "Okay, like who's at the front door?" And they would tell me their name. I ask them like, "Repeat the name for me," and then they'll say like, "Oh, it's da da da." I'm like, "Hmm." I'm like, all right, let me finish the scavenger hunt and I'll be right over there. And then I would, because for me, rolling in the zombie apocalypse, I would either be rolling in something like, if I was trying to really scavenge, I would definitely get like something like a truck or like a hatchback so that way I could load that bitch up. But if I was just going on a quick run, I'm rolling in a Jeep because that way it's like kind of a little bit all terrain. You know what I'm talking about though,
I don't want to say I agree that in an aspect of like that would get you through obstacles that a car wouldn't get you through, but I feel like truck is definitely on my top tier list. But a Jeep,
I'm not talking about
because
one.
of
I'm not talking about ones with like the
the
no
big
doors,
ones, yeah.
or whatever. Like
Well,
I'm talking about
even
one.
with the doors, it's because of the gas. The gas guzzling, the amount of miles per gallon that you get.
Well,
I mean,
we're not going that far
yeah. I
because
mean,
if I was doing a quick scavenger hunt, I'll be going like close by.
well, okay, so let's get more of a foundation for this. So, if we're in the aspect of, I guess, my idea where it's a rural area, you kind of can't really. I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to leave as often. So, again, like you said, instead of it being short distances, it would be less frequent. So, but still, I mean, it adds up. Mileage is mileage. It's kind of like saying like oh, $1's not that much, but then $1, $2, $3, $4. Next thing you know, you're at $20. But if you're in like let's say like we're here, like I said, where it's like everybody, we got five guys on the porches, we got five guys at the wind, like on the sliding doors with the shades closed, but they're peeping out. Then yeah, I mean you could hop in a
I
jeep
mean, you can always have the
and go
person that
local.
that salvage gas. You can always have
Yeah,
that person that salvage gas, or if vice
well,
versa, you have to do it
and that's
yourself.
the thing too. I mean, there could be situations where you go to a gas station and you find a tank. You luck out and find a tanker, and you take that tanker and you drive it on back to your crib, and take out whoever wants to try and tag along and try and take it back, and you're like, nope, take them out. I mean, it all, there's a lot of scenarios that it's like, okay. So, I mean, in the aspect of like, if you have someone dedicated to siphoning gas already, you already have an established foundation. You're like, oh, we got like a couple people watching the balconies, a couple people watching the windows, and then we got a couple people like making food or keeping inventory of food and keeping inventory of medication, sleeping arrangements, stuff like that. They're making sure the place is up kept or whatever, and at that point you're pretty established. So I could see, yeah, take a jeep, like hands down. But if you're like fresh starting out and it's like just us, like I said, we're just saw it on the news, we took off, then I'd be kind of skeptical, like taking a jeep, like we don't have any way to like get gas for it unless like me or you personally go to a car and, do the whole mouth trick of siphoning gas. So
What would be your go to
vehicle.
Yeah.
Feels like an interview. Hang on, let me button my shirt up. Um Honestly, that's hard because I don't. Part of me wants to say a car because cars are great on mileage, but
So you're talking about like a sedan, 4-door sedan.
I'd say a 4-door sedan, but you got to be. I mean, then again, it's a zombie apocalypse. You can't be picky. You got to kind of take what you get.
That's what I'm saying.
So I could kind of feel you on that. That's why I say I don't want to say no to the Jeep, because if a Jeep's in front of me and I got the keys and it has gas in it, I guess we're rolling in the Jeep.
A part of that too is like you gotta think that there's different types of Jeeps. Like you got the Jeep Wrangler, you got like,
and you got different sizes. It could be a smaller side, not one of those big.
A Jeep Cherokee, like they're different. Different eras. Now, if you're talking about a Jeep that guzzles,
I feel you on a Jeep Cherokee. I definitely will feel you on that because that's not like. I mean, I'm talking like those Jeeps with the ducks on the hood, like you said, where sometimes they're missing.
Well, they have the spare tire in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If the keys are there and let's say you have the keys and it's like you're driving it and it has gas, then it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers.
I mean, hell, you can always just use it for spare parts.
That's
not like saying you gotta completely utilize it. It's not universal, but you take what you can get.
Use it for spare parts. You could use it for a barricade. I mean, or you could use it for to suit up to use as armor or a shield. Well, not like armor for your body, but you know what I mean.
No. Armor to be honest with you, essentially you could. I mean, with the tires and stuff like that, if you strip down the tires, you cut it open, wrap it around your arm and stuff like that, so that way, anti-bite and shit like that. Yeah, you could definitely do that. I mean, that's the key idea here is that you utilize everything. Yeah, because as long as you can utilize everything and stuff like that, it's going to be very exponential, and you can utilize it along the long run.
And that's the biggest key. And I mean, I know you hear me talk about it all the time. I mean, when I go to the grocery store, it's like, how much are you paying per ounce? What are those little numbers that you're paying for? Don't just look at the price of it. Look at the whole tag and see what it
look
says.
At the per pound and stuff like that. Yep.
So I mean, same goes for if you're in a crunch situation where it's like zombie apocalypse. Like I said, if I was from an aspect of you told me oh, you go to a dealership and you break in. I mean, see, that would be something if I was in not a completely rural area, but a relatively rural area, and I found a dealership, probably pick off a couple people that are the workers that were working there at the time that got caught up in it, and then a couple people who were shopping there, pick them off. And then you go back and you could just find the keys and take a car.
I was going to say, yeah, they actually, that's actually a good idea.
So that's your opportunity to, then you could be a little picky and be like, oh, what car should I pick? Or you could really go through and be like, okay, oh, this one has, quarter of a tank. Oh, this one has a full tank. And then it's so if you were let's say you started the car and you started the Jeep and the Jeep had a full tank. And then you went over and started a little, you started a Ford Flex, and the Ford Flex had quarter of a tank. I'm gonna pick the Jeep. One, it's got more gas. Two, I'm already self-aware that a Ford Flex is also a gas guzzler to a degree, but in comparison to the Jeep, the Ford Flex might be a couple gallons better or a couple miles better. Yeah, because
you want to stay with the smaller vehicles so that way you kind of last a lot longer. If you're going to go with bigger vehicles, that's more so for your bigger scavenger hunts. If you're trying to load it up and stuff like that, I'm okay, this only has a quarter of a tank, so we're gonna take this, but we're not gonna utilize it to the full extent.
And longevity wise, it's like this Jeep that has a full tank, or we'll get a little specific because we said Ford Flex. Jeep Cherokee. This Jeep Cherokee has a full tank. I'm going to use the Jeep Cherokee to transport, whether it's people, food, whatever. Most of the transportation is that Jeep Cherokee because it's a full tank. I'm going to try and utilize that efficiently. You know, like you always said, very efficient with how I drive. If I'm like, okay, we're going to go to, the bank is here, we'll go to the bank because it's the furthest point, and then we're going to work our way back. So I go to the bank because it's furthest, then I stop at the store because it's the next, furthest, then I stop at, the pet store because I need dog food or cat food or whatever, then I hit home. Like, I'm not going to go, oh, well, I'm going to go to the furthest point, which is, getting gas, and then I'm going to come to the closest point, and then you're, going further, closer, further, closer, further, closer, and then it's work your way back, forward and then back, or work from back to forward, one way or the other, left to right, right to left. You don't, when you read a book, you don't read from left, then you read, the right side.
Unless you're reading the mangas.
Well,
yeah.
Even then, if you're reading the manga, you read right to left. You don't read right, then left, then middle, then right. You don't jump around. You read straight right to left. So right, middle, left.
Like a stream.
Yeah. Exactly. Because the minute you interrupt that, the flow, it's just, you start wasting gas, you start wasting, every gallon counts, every ounce counts. Every, half a bottle of water counts. If you could take the bottles of water, you got, let's say, my pet peeve was, when y'all used to drink soda, and then I would find cans that were had a quarter, it was a quarter full, then I'd find a half can full, and I'd be like, dude, I'm buying the soda and y'all are drinking it and leaving cans that have soda still in it, and then you're grabbing another can. And I remember Matt being like, oh, what is it, Matt? I'm going to buy you a case of soda. Is it that really a big deal? It's yeah, it's really a big deal because it don't matter if you could buy me a case of soda. It's the fact that you guys are being wasteful. Y'all don't realize I put money, my hard-earned money into this, and then y'all drink some of it, waste it, and your answer is to spend more money and to make up for what you did. And as a result, what are you going to do? The same exact thing. You're going to waste that soda as well. I'm not benefiting from it. You going and buying another case of soda to make up for what you wasted. I'm still drinking a full can of soda versus the half.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes back to the main topic. Get a Jeep Grand Cherokee. You're going to use that mostly, and then the Ford Flex that has quarter of a tank. You're going to use that for very minimal things because the Ford Flex has a lot of room. It has 3 rows. So you could stock food in it. You could stock supplies in it. Let's say we went to a Lowe's or Home Depot and it was very quiet and abandoned. We kind of scoped it out a little bit, peeked our way in, went in. Mind you, this is well into the apocalypse, and we're kind of scoping it out. Get in there, it's very quiet, maybe a minimal zombies. We see 5 zombies, and they look like workers and customers that were left behind.
Gone, yeah.
So we go in there, we get lumber. We start loading lumber in there, so that way we can start establishing,
building.
Yeah, building, boarding up windows, creating barricades to, prevent zombies from getting too close to where we're at, or even building a fenced off area for where we would put animals. Prime example, we have a dog park here. So let's say some of the fence was a little bit, unstable. You get some wood, put it in place to stabilize that fence. You turn the dog park into a animal pen where you could stick cows or sheep or chickens, and then next thing you know, you got a food supply because they're providing eggs, they're mating, and
Yep.
then they're reproducing. Next thing you know, you're having chickens, you're killing the chickens, and you got protein, and there you go. Once you got protein and liquid water, you're golden.
Having the resources.
Exactly. So I mean, not saying that this is the perfect place, obviously, but
Yeah.
so close to a city. But um, again, it comes to that establishment of, like I said, utilizing what you have. I'm not saying I wouldn't use a Jeep, but if I had other options, I probably would take other options like a four-door, small, compact SUV versus a bulky Ford Flex or a bulky Jeep Grand Cherokee. I mean, could argue some of them could be small, but I mean, I'm talking like, like my former vehicle, the
Chevy.
Chevy Trax. That thing is super compact. It's almost as small as a car, but it's high off the ground. I mean, it's very big looking compared to a car, but when you compare it to other SUVs, it's very small. So, but very good on traction. I've drove it through snow, no problem. Ice, no problem. I mean, on mud, everything that you could think of. So, but
True.
same with trucks. I mean, tons of people drove trucks and taken trucks mudding for that purpose. Some people have trucks.
Only problem is
specifically for that.
with the frame of
Yeah.
the trucks because they tend to rot out pretty damn fast, unfortunately.
Well, the good thing is you're in the South. There's no salt. They're not putting salt treatment on those roads with the snow and stuff like that. So your framework, odds are, should be pretty. As long as they didn't really, if they took it mudding and stuff and they were going off a lot of like jumps and hills and stuff, then yeah, the frame's probably bent or worn down. But for the most part, I mean, the frame should be relatively good. And again, it comes into the fall if you happen to come across a somewhat rural area that might have, maybe they have a Walmart, a small Walmart like we got, where it's a neighborhood Walmart, maybe not a super center, and they're like, they might have like a couple restaurants, they have maybe a dealership or two. You go into that dealership, you manage to get yourself a nice truck. Odds are that truck is either new or temporarily used, and I mean, shit, the frame's probably in decent condition because they've already worked on it before they're going to put it on sale. They're not going to sell a truck with a bad, well,
Then again,
debatable,
yeah.
but I mean, the frame is less likely to be bad versus what's actually in the car. You probably run into like a transmission issue or an engine issue before you'd run into a frame issue. Because a lot of times you see people in movies, in the zombie movies, they'll be driving a car, and next thing you know, and you see smoke from the hood, and it's like, oh no.
Yep.
And it's like,
How would you run your sanctuary?
I honestly thought you were going to say, how would I run? And I would say 1 foot in front of the other. But, how would
so
I?
that is the first step.
Oh yeah, I took my first steps. But you were saying, how would I run my sanctuary?
Yeah.
What do you, I mean,
Your
able to
stronghold,
allow-
where you hold like your foundation, like your people.
where would I establish it, or where would I, like, what would my, like, basic rules be, or?
Just in general, yeah.
I would say, like I said, rural area. It'd have to be an area that's, very secluded. I mean, not like super far from like everything. Like, I mean, it could be an area where there's probably like, a corner store or a gas station, nearby, stuff like that. Because, I mean, every rural area has their gas station or their, like, quick and go or whatever the heck they call the gas station.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So we already got resources established of your sanctuary. Now, how would you treat the people upon inside your?
I would say, I mean, it depends on who. I mean, are you talking in a standpoint of like if I, in a perfect world or a perfect zombie world, I got to like, me, you, Ray, the people from his story, stuff like that style, or like, I'm dealt the cards that I got. Like I'm here and I'm in. I'm at where I'm at. It's me, you, my wife, my kids, father-in-law, mother-in-law, stepdad, or whatever.
Well, pretty much anybody that you can really take in at that point, because you gotta remember that everything's popping off. So
Yeah.
if it's just basically me and you,
I would say it would definitely. At first, I'd be very like reserved to our group. I'd be hesitant on letting people in, or letting people join us because a lot of that is established trust. I think I would run off of like just us, go to a rural area, like you said. I mean, I would try and establish, okay, we got these vehicles, we got this much gas. We're gonna wait out this area, see if these houses, like if the car leaves, doesn't come back for several hours, we'll go in, scavenge it, so on, move on, da 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 da. And then, if someone comes in, it falls on, drum roll, what do you bring to the table? I mean, that's my biggest thing. If you come into my group, like, why am I letting you in? What?
right?
This is a where are my papers, my clipboard. All right, so interview. What do you bring to Vestavia? No, what do you bring to our group? Do you bring like? Are you a mechanic? Were you previously a mechanic? Are you a nurse? Are you, construction worker?
What experiences do you have?
What experiences do you have? And then it's not like, oh, I'm going to hire you as, a mechanic, or I'm going to hire you.
I just want to know what your expertise are.
I feel like I'd be like, exactly. Like, what are your expertise so I can put you, like, I want to put my aces where they lie. I don't want to, if you're not an ace, I don't want to play you as an ace. I want to play you the way you're supposed to be played. Like if you're a mechanic and you enjoy being a mechanic, that's where I want to put you. Now, if you come in and you're like, oh, I'm a mechanic, I have like 35, 40 years of experience as a mechanic, but my calling is really, I was going to school to be a nurse. I mean, unfortunately, I'm going to look you in the face. I'm going to be like, you're a goddamn mechanic in my book. I'm sorry. This ain't no college. Like, dead serious, because it's like, you gotta,
like, pretty much, at that point, you take what you can get.
Exactly.
You take what you can get, but then on pawn of that is that you gotta also wait on their weaknesses so that way they can also learn too, especially in the real world. And so that way they can kind of establish certain skills.
Obviously, this is like, we're talking about it on a podcast, so it's a little bit slower. It's like, oh, like I would interview them, ask them, like, what are your strengths? But in the moment, you're like, what did you used to do before this all came down? It's like, boom, they're going to answer right away.
Yeah, well, whatever was the most recent experience.
Like, oh, I was a mechanic for X amount of years. It's like, okay, well, that's good because we have a couple vehicles. I can have you work on them if you don't mind. And in return, we'll provide you a place to sleep, your family a place to sleep, and some
food in your belly. Yeah.
food in your belly. And as long as you don't like tamper with our cars or take any cars, or you keep working on them when we need them, and you're at least showing that you're improving them to a degree. I mean, if something major happens to the car, like freaking someone crashes at the front end and the engine collapses, I don't expect you to put the whole engine back together, obviously, but
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, like, if we're driving and, like, I drive over a nail and the tire goes flat, but I make it back to the sanctuary, and I'm like, hey, like, tire went flat maybe about 5 miles down the road. I figured I could make it. It won't ruin the actual, the rim itself, but it'll make it, so I made it back. I have a spare tire. Can you put it on? I mean,
see, for me, the aspect is what it fall upon. It's not just like what they know, and the you gotta think of it like the game that we played Remnant 2, of having like two classes, but also what else they kind of like gradually like introduce
what do you
themselves.
like?
Because I would bring them on runs, and I'd be like, you only experience what it felt like of you surviving by yourself. Now this is a team effort, so what I need you to do,
team building.
yeah, I need you to get some team building on your end, so that way you see how we do stuff. So you're going to be doing this, Mike is going to be doing that, and I'm going to be doing this. I need to make sure you're going to hold point. Because if I radio you and I tell you like, hey, you need to do this or whatever like that, or I need you to pull up, you better be making sure that you pull up. And if you don't solidify, I'm gonna be honest with you, you come back to the place, there's gonna be some type of repercussion to be like, hey man, you didn't do this, and it kind of sucks, but like I'm gonna have to put you on, like, sad to say, I'm gonna have to put you on janitorial duty
or night duty,
or night duty on watch.
Yeah, well,
because I'll have you do a transition. Because if I have, you gotta think, like, if you have people who are doing these night watches, like, at least like almost every single night, eventually they're gonna get tired. Like, you have people that are on the night shift. First of all, you want the people who are used to doing night shift, like when they worked at Walmart or whatever like that. Put those people on those
night shifts.
On the slide, yeah, on the sliding doors on the balconies. You want those ones on the night. But if they start feeling a little fatigued, or like they didn't eat as much because there wasn't enough or whatever like that, well, like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna rotate you with him because, whatever reason, you're not going to share specifics, but you're going to say, like, I'm rotating you with him, so that way you're going to go to bed, you're going to get some extra sleep, and then I'm going to send you off with some food, so that way you can recuperate, and then we'll be back in the morning, so that way we kind of figure something out with you. And then when he leaves, I'm going to be like, you know what you did, and we're not going to talk about this because you fucked up. So this is what you have to do. If you see anything that moves that is not a human being, you shoot it. If you feel some type of way, or if you feel like it's human being, or for a fact it's human being, you radio me. You ask name. You ask if they have been bitten. If they answer, either or whatever like that, you let me know. And I need to know everything. Point blank. So before you let them inside that front door, because the minute they inside that front door, that's contamination. Right? Point blank simple. Because if you let someone that was bitten, that's not only on that person's ass that you let in, but that's on your ass. Mm-hmm. Because the fact that you let that person that is infected inside our section, inside our area, that's cross contamination.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's not even just like necessarily from a standpoint of infection. It's a standpoint of, like, if you let someone in that's not infected, and they come in and it's like, oh, I can go out on scavengers and bring food, and it's like, okay, that's great. All of us could do that. Yeah. I mean, I could pick any freaking sad, sorry.
Like
loser.
I could pick the
Like-
person that's on janitorial duty, and then he could run the car. But I need to know exactly
Like,
for a fact
what do you bring to the table?
yeah, what do you bring for the table, and what type of skills do you have? Like, are you able to multitask?
And then
are you able
and
to
then
do
like
this? Are you
like
able
you
to do
said, you need to go on a run with me or with one of us or whoever,
that? Both of us, yeah.
and then so we can establish whether you can be relied on as a team player, like you can pull your own weight, or you're not worth it. And
Yeah.
by that person just letting them in and not, like you said, radioing us, I mean, you're risking a potential letting someone in, and then they're like, they start popping us off, they start shooting or whatever, and killing us, and then that's looked at, okay, well, now we're considered weak because that happened. So they're like, oh, what if it happens again? And it's like, no, it won't happen again. Like, he's going to face repercussions. And it's like, you got to convince these people that it won't happen again.
There's punishment, and that they get secluded. It's like, oh, like I'm okay. Like, yeah, I've been bitten, but I'm fine and stuff like that. I'm like, you can say all you're fine you want, but you're staying right here inside the cell. I don't care.
I'm talking like your group of people that are fine, that were maybe sleeping, are like scared because some of them got killed, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, what if?
Oh, so you're talking about Cult of the Lamb type of aspect where they see
Yeah.
like death and stuff like that, and they're
and then
like
they're
a little
like,
skeptical. They're
yeah,
like,
they're
oh my god.
skeptical, and they're like, well, as a leader, can you really protect us? Because are you gonna punish him for letting in this guy who ended up being not bitten, and he
Yeah,
had
because
a, and
you
he
gotta
had a
set an
gun?
example.
And so now you got to do a Negan, and either one, I mean, I hate to say it, beat the crap out of him, or two,
give him the iron.
yeah, or two, do something that will set an example and put drill the point in and be like, there's no oopsies here. Like, this isn't your freshman project where you can screw up and then, repeat the grade. There is no repeating the grade.
Mm-hmm.
You die. That's it. Point blank.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you gotta either, like I said, you end up beating the crap out of him, or like you said, I mean, as brutal as it sounds, like the iron, freaking, or you end up saying, we're gonna have to send you out, or you're gonna have to do outside duty.
Yeah.
Just strictly outside duty, and you only come in when one of us lets you in, or one of us lets you out.
Yeah.
And
Killing the stragglers.
exactly. Basically just watching outside, and then if you get picked off outside because someone's in the woods and they happen to have a hunter's rifle, and they're, they happen to be, hunting in the area, and they see you and they're like, oh, that might be a walker. Or, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. You shouldn't have let that person in. It's part of the repercussions.
Now, what weaponry wise, I would definitely have to say definitely a crossbow, and
hands down,
crossbow, and having a melee weapon.
Yeah.
Less sound, better, so that way you don't attract attention. For me, it would either be I think I would definitely do a katana.
It's convenience too, because I mean, when you think about it, when you get like, I have a pistol, I have a Ruger pistol, and let me correct myself, Taurus pistol. I have a Taurus pistol and a 12 gauge shotgun. Now, once I use those rounds, what are the odds I'm going to come across a 12 gauge 12 gauge shotgun ammo or pistol ammo that will, fit into my pistol? Probably if I go to a city, probably high, a lot higher but I'm not going to go to a city, because is it worth the risk for me to go to that city, possibly get bit? Definitely.
Yeah, because you gotta be at least rolling at least 3 or 4 deep,
if not more, because you're talking, there's probably a couple hundred zombies walking around, and you gotta navigate quickly through those.
You gotta have someone that's watching the door. Then you have to have the 2 people that are rolling in, and then the smart idea is to have a person on the exit end. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah,
have
you're
two,
right.
you have two ways that you can leave, which is a smart idea because you
Yeah.
have two exits. So if
Mhm.
shit goes south, then you can go south. If
Mhm.
shit goes north, then you can go north. But if shit goes west, you know what I'm saying? Just
Event reversed.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
anyways,
yeah. Reverse.
um, yeah, because like you said, I mean, if shit goes north, you go south. If shit goes south, you go north. Always go away from it. So, yeah, definitely have someone watching that second door while another person's watching the first door. So that way, if all of a sudden the dude at the first door is like, yo, there's like 30 of them coming towards us from, they're coming from the main road because,
The
whatever.
sound or whatever.
Let's say a sound or, y'all went to walk in and one of y'all went to go close the door and I mean a lot of people are instinct to just, swing the door shut but they don't realize, press the door shut versus a lot of people will slip up an instinct and it will take a while to build that, you know, um, what's it called? Strictness or, um, anyways, but a lot of people will slam the door and that might alert them. So, like I said,
Habit.
habit. So it's like I see 30 of them coming from the main road and it's like, okay. Then you kind of keep gathering and,
Also being conscientious.
well, exactly. And then you walk to the back door and you're like, hey, how's it look on your end? It's like, I see like 4, maybe 3. It's like, I can't really tell if that's a tree or whatever, but it's way out in the distance.
But you know for a fact that you can at least take on more than like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
But like you're fine
exactly.
with that versus the 30. You're just like, yeah. So that's
So
definitely how it goes. So you would tell that person on the walk, you'd be
be
like,
ready.
hey, like lead the room, lock up that door or barricade it, and then follow south or vice versa. Like,
Exactly.
okay, there's too much in the north, go south because there's way too many numbers.
Exactly.
And then have the person on that rendezvous point of on the getaway be like, this is what we loaded up, and then
yeah. Well, because it's all about what you do in that moment of the analyzing because like I said back to the podcast when we talked about superpowers about analyzing the situation you're in right in that moment and what you could do going forward in the future and you have to take care of it in that moment as much as possible prepare for your future as much as possible
longevity.
and so you said I mean beautiful tell that person that saw the 30 zombies like all right close that door, barricade it, close that door quietly, get that barricaded as quietly as possible, get it like as, covered up as possible so that way they can't,
Barge in
or they can't, maybe they can't it muffles it more or whatever. It keeps that door shut. And then as soon as you get that done, get over here and start collecting some stuff with us and then that way we can get out this other door.
So back to the original question. What is yeah?
Did I get off topic?
A little bit. It's okay.
My fault.
It's all right. So back to the original question. What are you rolling with for weaponry wise?
Weaponry. That's right. Honestly, I mean, right off the bat, obviously, I have currently my
But
Taurus pistol.
if we're not talking
gauge.
about what you have,
If
already.
I have an option, let's say we go where we
Bass
luck
Pro
out
Shops or whatever.
We luck out and we go to a rural area, and then we come across a like a rural gun shop, like a gun shop that's small mom and pop gun shop, or like you said, maybe a Bass Pro shop that's tucked back, and we kind of go in carefully. We're well established, maybe a couple months into the zombie apocalypse, we got like, or a year into the zombie apocalypse, and we got like 5 people rolling, 5, 6, 7 people rolling with us. Then it's like we go into a Bass Pro Shop, pick them off real quick. I'd probably, if I had the option, I don't know. if I could get my hands on, like, it depends on if I have a duffel bag or if you're talking about just what you can grab on you and in your pockets. If I had a duffel bag, I'd definitely scoop up a bunch of rifle ammo and then take a decent long rifle.
Well,
with a
remember
scope.
you're rolling in there at least like 3 or 4 deep, so you can have that extra person carry the ammunition. But for you, you can carry, whatever amount that you can carry on yourself, and most of the time, you can find straps.
Yeah.
And if you can't find the strap, then you can kind of like tell the person with the duffel bag to put that inside the duffel bag. But I'm saying like for carry on, for you to like have right there instantly. Like I already told you what I'm gonna be carrying is that crossbow and a sword. And if I can't get the sword, then I'm either getting a bat, a golf club, or a knife, like a really nice knife. I'm talking about like something that's very because you can still kill them like straight up like with a knife.
I would say probably. I'd say a machete because
There you go.
the multi uses for it, because one, it's very a thick blade, but it can also be sharp.
I mean, even the tomahawk too.
But yeah, I would say it's a mix between a machete, tomahawk, and then for a option that shoots like a projectile, um, I'd probably say probably a bow, crossbow, whatever, or you know something like that'd probably be the best option. I'd have to say is a bow, just because the fact that you could shoot them, take them out, and if you have enough window room where you can rip the bolt out of them, and the bolt's still good, you could use it again. The same with the arrow, because the big thing becomes there's only going to be so much ammo, and enough people get around those gun stores, it's going to become like we're 3D, but we get scavenging, and we're like, we scavenged this house, we scavenged that house, we got some pharmacy items, maybe some Tylenol, we got some, Oxycontin or whatever in case one of us, sprains our ankle or breaks a leg or whatever. But it becomes an issue where it's you go by and you're like, you get to that Bass Pro Shop and you see like 30 in the parking lot, and then you can clearly see some in through the windows of the store. You don't know how many. You probably see like 2, 3. You're like, okay, but I know there's probably more, because if there's 30 in the parking lot and there's 2 or 3 in the store, like who knows how many could be in there.
Yeah, how much more leading.
At that point, you're reeling back and you're like, okay, it's not really worth going to get the ammo. As much as we really want the ammo, how many, like, we could end up potentially all 3 of us dying, and then no one goes back to the sanctuary. The sanctuary falls apart because, one of their leaders goes down, 2 of their leaders, or if me, like I said, depending on if me and you go, if we both go.
And that's not even to say if we're not getting radio calls while we're in the place too, because
exactly,
if there's stuff that's popping off and we're not even there, but we're still getting, the feedback from it, then it's just like, damn, okay, so this shit is popping off. I'm like, we gotta cut this shit short. And it's just like, but what about the ammo and stuff like that? We're gonna have to put that shit on pause because we can't risk it. And like we know where the ammo is, but we also know where the walkers are, so we can't risk it.
Yeah.
Because you sometimes it really comes down towards that point of that sacrifice of where you have to really minimize your activity so that way you can live another day. Because if you get radio call, me and you, and we're out on the run and we're like 2 or 3 people deep, and then we get radio call like, hey, like
someone
this is popping off, and then someone's also infected, it's just like, all right, fuck, like now we definitely have to go back.
Or even something as simple as like, hey, we see someone on the tree line, they shot towards the house. We don't know if it's a warning shot. We don't know if they know that we're in here. We don't know if what's going on, if they saw a walker near the place. We haven't seen any. Da, 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 da. it's like it don't matter. That means we got to get back there so that way we can establish like, hey, not only are there people in that house, but now we're rolling back in a vehicle, and there's more of us coming to this house. So you could try and pick us off with your rifle, but eventually you're gonna get spotted, and then bullets are gonna fly in your direction, and then next thing you know, you're gonna have walkers
Yeah,
closing in on
because
your
you
area.
give away your area not only to us, but you also give you away your area like from the walkers. So
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate part. But yeah, I mean, definitely having those items on your arsenal is definitely very effective.
Melee, hands down.
Yeah,
Melee, something that doesn't require like constant
I mean, I would love to
ammunition.
have a shotgun, but it just makes too much noise. It's
Yeah.
definitely going to kill them instantly. It's definitely going to push them back, but at the same time, it's going to cause too much noise. And when you're talking about stuff that you know, it they reflect upon noise, then you don't want to bring more attention towards yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then again, to bring it back to that topic, man, it's I don't know. For me, it's very like it's not tipsy topsy for me because like I don't mind welcoming people in, but then it also comes down towards that respect. It's just
Yes.
like any of my exes and stuff like that. It's just like if a zombie apocalypse
Well,
happens, like I'm not gonna shy away and like shun you away, whatever like that, and like
but you
be
gotta
like, oh,
know, like there's a fine line where it's like
exactly,
you broke up with me, but that doesn't mean that you get to disrespect me. And then the same for me. I'm not gonna disrespect you as long as you don't disrespect me. But the minute that disrespect kicks in,
the
boom.
the thing is just like just thinking just imagining just thinking about their face is that like when they say like, oh, okay, wait here, you're gonna have to talk to our leader, and then like you come strolling in, not like over here like waving your dick around and being like all like cocky with it, but
But you
like
just
you're
kind
just
of casually walk
yeah, you
in.
just casually walking in. It's like, oh, you said so and so. It's like, all right, I'm coming down, and then you come down. And it's like, oh, okay, and then like something they see your face and they're like, oh, like you're a leader. It's like, yeah, I'm the leader. We've had this sanctuary for X amount of time. We have a couple resources. We've been holding it down and stuff like that. So yeah, we've been keeping it steady and stuff like that. Like you ask them like how you been and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
then like they tell you, and it's like, well, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but we do have
Requirements.
we have requirements, and unfortunately we have a limited amount of space. We can make accommodations for you, but I'm saying like
What do
this
you
is
bring
what
to the
is.
table?
Yeah, exactly. Like what do you bring to your
Like, there's
table?
no exceptions.
Because unfortunately enough,
I
like
could
we have a
already,
limited amount of resources.
I could already see that. Like, oh, you don't even know, man. Trying to be like as civil and nice as possible, but like you said, there's only one. That one that me and you both know that would actually like probably respect and understand the like
The
the
logic, yeah.
logic of it, of being like, hey, like there's no
If and buts.
advantage or no if and or buts. Like you ain't gonna get an advantage. So what do you bring to the table? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to clean? Are you willing to? I mean, maybe you're a female and you feel some type of way about cleaning. Okay, well then,
Like, listen, I can't promise
how do you
you.
feel
I
about
can't
cooking?
promise you your. I can't promise you your stay, but I
Yeah,
can promise you your safety. You know what I'm saying?
as long as as long as you provide something, I'll provide as much safety as
That's the most I
possible.
can. Now, upon that being, is that again, what do you bring to your table?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't bring anything to the table, then I'm sorry, but like
There's no
I-
place
I'll
for you.
I'll let you sleep here for the night, but after that, like I'm sorry, but like I can't do anything for you
Damn.
because this is a different.
He's gone soft on me, guys. Guys, help me out.
Oh,
He's
you
got
wouldn't
that.
even let them stay for the
Bro, what do
damn.
they bring to the table? Because my thing is, the minute you say, okay, what can you do for me? Like, what can you provide? I mean, it already gives off kind of that persona of like you're like unfortunately you're flying your dick around or
Yeah.
your ovaries or whatever in that moment. So it's like, what do you bring to the table? And they're like, well, I don't know. I can't really. I don't know what do you mean? And it's like, well, can you cook? Can you clean? It's like, oh well, that's is it because I'm a woman? It's like, no, I'm just asking. Like, if you want to go on runs and shoot guns and shit and kill walkers, I mean, we could do that too. But I mean, or if you want to, go work on the vehicles with so and so because he's a former mechanic. If you want to do that, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you? I don't know. I can't work on cars, and I don't want to go out there. And it's like, okay, well then you're gonna have to cook or clean or, tend to whatever is needed around here, whether it's taking care of animals or whatever. It's like, I don't know. And then it's like, you're gonna have to pick. Like, I need to know what you're gonna do because I need this documented so that way, if so and so says it was your shift or your duty,
It's like, what do you mean you documented, bitch? This is what I mean by documented.
like it's on the paper.
Well, like you don't think like oh, just because the shit is electronic doesn't mean the shit don't fucking work. I keep everything documented there.
Or even like even writing it down, or even like there's all kinds of ways you could do it. I mean, people will take like knives and carve it into whatever the case. Besides the point, I mean, it's like at that point I'm like, if you let them stay, odds are either one, the next morning they either kill you, or two, the next morning
They take a mile.
they take a mile, or they end up stealing all your food in the night and end up dipping out while you're sleeping. And then next thing you know, you're getting a walkie call over the phone on the night shift being like, hey, someone's leaving, someone's taking the car. And then you're having to run out there and you're freaking chasing after this car that's peeling out, and you're like, fuck. And then you're having to explain to the crew that you just promised that safety.
True.
So you got to establish that person that it's like, hey, this is, I previously had a history with this person before the aftermath or before the zombie apocalypse. I need you to watch them. Make sure they don't do anything.
Yeah, keep a close guard.
I know that you're on night duty. I know you're supposed to be watching the woods, but
Well, I'm gonna relieve you off of your night duty, and I need you to stay close capture on this one. Like, if you need to stand out beside her door, or if you need to just watch her moves or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But we're gonna put a nail on this coffin, and we will be right back with you guys sooner or later. Possibly part 3. Comment whatever you guys think. If you guys have different ideas of arsenal, or if you guys have different ideas of like letting significant others, whatever like that, inside, your foundation or area.
Where is your safe place? What is your safe place?
Yeah, and always remember the main topic: what do they bring to the table? Peace.